All right, what is going on, everybody? This is the Duval County Rams fan, and I am still basking in the big win that we had this past Sunday against the Super Bowl champs. I have been thoroughly enjoying hearing some of the sports media talk good about the Rams. Not that I necessarily hold their opinion in very much high regard. There are a few out there that I respect, and that I value. But for the most part, they say things, and I take it with a grain of salt. But it's always good to hear people talk good about your team, though. You know what I mean? So it's been nice hearing the kind words about the Rams. I've just been basking in it. It's been quite nice. I was pretty nervous about this. I thought this game could have gone either way, but it looked like that we basically dominated them. So we are going to look at some standouts today before we move on with some news stuff. Unfortunately, got some bad news about Hollins, but I'll get into that a little later. Winners and losers from the Rams' big win over the Bucs. Let's go look at some standouts. So, LA snapped the Buccaneers' 10-game win streak dating back to last season, and LA appears poised for a big year. I try not to get too deep into that kind of talk. I want them to remain hungry. I'm just saying, for me personally, I've always been of the mindset I don't like looking too far ahead. I feel I'll lose some enjoyment if I do that. So, do I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL? As of 3 weeks into the season, yes. Yes, I do. Do I think they have a lot to improve upon? Yes. Do I think they need to improve if they want to win a Super Bowl? Yes, I do. They are going to need to get a little better in certain areas, but this video is all about the standouts, baby. So let's take a look at who performed well against the Super Bowl champions this past Sunday. And, of course, we're going to go ahead and start with Matthew Stafford, who's been an absolute godsend for us since he has arrived to LA. And the true measuring stick for the individual success of Matthew Stafford in a Rams uniform and the success of the team's decision to acquire the signal caller will come in the playoffs. That is true. While it may not necessarily be fair to the player, Les Snead brought Stafford to Los Angeles to win a championship. Anything short of that should be considered a disappointment. My whole thing on that is, if it doesn't happen, I wouldn't be disappointed. We have to remember, this is his first year with the team. I understand the hype is very real right now. There's a lot of hype going on, but this is his first year in a new system. So if he doesn't win, we can't necessarily call the season not a success. But trust me, I feel you. My goals for this team are very high as well. But it's just, I wouldn't call it a disappointing season if they do not win at all. Necessarily. But with that said, Sunday's Week 3 matchup was the most significant test Stafford in the 2021 version of the Rams have faced so far, and they passed with flying colors. LA star passer finished with 27 completions on 38 attempts for 343 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Stafford started off a little shaky, completing one of his first 7 passes. I believe that this right here was a product of the play calling. I thought the play calling was atrocious for the first couple drives. I think Sean was just being a little too cute those first couple drives. I said it in my instant reaction. I was pretty hot like the first quarter, the first couple minutes, I was really hot because each of these 1 of 7 passes that he missed, there would be like 1 or 2 run plays that got decent yardage, and I kept screaming at the TV. I'm trying not to curse. Gosh darn it, Sean! Gosh darn it, run the football. Yeah, I'm screaming at the TV, but luckily Sean got it together, and you all know how it ended up. So Sean called a very good game. I was very proud of Sean specifically, but those first few drives, terrible, absolutely terrible. And the Rams, as it goes on to say, Rams pivoted to a short, quick passing game that got their quarterback into a rhythm, and he never looked back. So there's our guy, Matthew Stafford, possible MVP candidate. I would love it if he would win that. Matthew Stafford, 27-38, 343 yards, 4 touchdowns with a 134 passer rating. That is... Oh, man, it does not get much better than that, guys. That is... This man... If Matthew doesn't win the MVP this year, he's certainly going to be in the final. He's going to be in the running. He's going to be in the conversation for sure, especially if he keeps putting up numbers like this week in and week out. If you want to be a tougher grader on Stafford, he missed Cooper Kupp multiple times earlier in the game and underthrew Desean Jackson twice. One, that one of them was he was getting pressured by a large man in Vita Vea, and the other, I think he just underthrew him. I don't think that's a very big deal. But and the Bucs also dropped an interception in the first quarter, which I remember that, and that should have been an interception. It really should have. It will not come. It will not come as easy for that player. I don't know who it was for the Bucs than that right there. The ball literally bounced right to him, and he dropped it. Thank goodness. So, but overall, the Rams should be thrilled with Stafford's performance. I'm sure they are. I know I am, and I know plenty of other Rams fans are as well. The team has a division contest against the Cardinals, who are also undefeated next week. I think we're going to handle them. Arizona's going to have to prove to me they can beat us. And the Seattle Seahawks 1-2 over the next 2 weeks. Seahawks are way better than their record would indicate. They had some things go wrong during the game, but we can't let this record fool us because they're tough and they always play us tough. And I know they have us circled too because we humiliated them last year. There's no other word to describe it. They won the division. We came in their house as a wild card and knocked them out in the first round. So they're going to want to beat us. They're going to be out for blood. So we need to be ready for them, and I know we will. So Matthew Stafford was a definite standout for sure. Cooper Kupp's the next one. He had another strong performance with his most trusted receiving option. He finished with 12 targets for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is great. A couple yards off from 100, but that's all right, though. Through 3 contests, Kupp has recorded 25 receptions for 367 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's crazy. So week 1, he had 7 receptions, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Week 2, he had 9 receptions, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And week 3, he had 9 receptions, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. These are like all pro numbers, like best receiver in the league type numbers. These are Pro Bowl numbers. Hell, if he continues down this trajectory, look, I don't think a wide receiver's ever won the MVP. I could be wrong, but like numbers like this, if he continues throughout the whole season, like you could make a case for Cooper Kupp winning MVP because he is like Stafford's favorite target right now. And I'm just so proud of him. I remember when we drafted him, and I had no idea who he was, but I heard Sean was very excited about him. I heard he was a very smart football player, and it did not take me long to become a fan of his. Cooper Kupp is one of my favorites, and we missed him dearly in the 2018 Super Bowl because he was Jared Goff's security blanket as well, and I feel like if we had him in the game, I think our odds of winning that game increased significantly. So I'm so happy he's on the team. I hope he stays with us for many, many years to come. Big fan of his. Aaron Donald, another man I hope stays with us for a good long while. The Rams jumped to a 14-7 lead, and the Bucs were able to pass the ball efficiently. However, the savvy veteran did not have enough time to push the ball downfield on a consistent basis. LA's defense sacked Brady 3 times, hell yeah, and the pressure was significant. There were a number of times that Brady either had to release the ball or adjust the throw because we were bearing down on him. Donald had a key strip sack in the final 2 minutes on the first half, and that the ball was recovered by Bernard. I remember that. That was the play where he sacked him, and the ball actually bounced, and he ran for like a good chunk of yardage, but it got called back because it was a fumble. So I'm happy Donald got a sack on Brady. I really wanted him to get one, so glad he did. Tyler Hibby is the next one here. Stafford Kupp connection has been a thing of beauty in the first 3 games, but the duo got off to a shaky start against the Bucs. Stafford had an errant throw on the first drive, and Kupp dropped the ball. On the second drive, that was a little high and ahead of him. On the third drive, the Rams got the ball rolling, and Tyler Higbee was the tight end that kind of helped get that going. First 2 games, he only had 6 receptions for 76 yards. Against Tampa Bay, he had 5 catches for 50 yards and his first touchdown of the year. While these aren't eye-popping numbers and we've seen Higbee have more dynamic individual performances, this is a situation where the offense needed someone to step up, and Higbee was able to move the chains. Very, very pleased with Higbee. All right, Kenny Young. Kenny Young earned a spot on the losers list last week after making contact with an official and getting ejected from the game. I thought that was a little questionable, but he needed to be smarter than that. I have no idea what was said, but he was upset about something clearly. But at the time, it was fair to wonder if Young's absence would create an opening for Ernest Jones to take over at inside linebacker. But the veteran put his conversation to bed, at least for now. Yeah, if Kenny Young keeps playing like he's playing, I'm more than happy with keeping Ernest on the bench, at least for now. I expect big things from Ernest Jones, but if Kenny is playing like he's playing, you got to keep him in there. It's encouraging to see Young bounce back with a dynamic performance. He was all over the field and made a handful of key plays. The off-ball linebacker notched a team-leading 8 tackles. 8 tackles, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for loss. That's good. That's good, man. He was all over the field. That's awesome. And I would love to play this, but don't know if I can. So, Kenny performed pretty well. He had a good sack on Tom Brady, which I loved. I think this was the one where... Oh, no. It's the one where Leonard Floyd sacked him, and Arians was like, trying to run out the field. What are you doing? Acting like it was such a big deal. It's football, bro. It's football. People get hit. I know that, you yourself, Bruce Arians, like to shine the shoes of the likes of Tom Brady and make sure, he's he's okay. Make sure he's pampered. Make sure he's everything's everything's good for him. Everything's okay. Make sure everything's okay for him. But he can get hit too. Tom Brady can get hit too. All right, he has pads on. He'll be okay. All right, so save the theatrics is what I'm getting at. That's not that wasn't on this sack. It was on the one where Leonard Floyd. I think it was Leonard Floyd hit him, and he was acting all butthurt about it. It's like whatever, dude, whatever. Get back on the sideline. Anyway, Desean Jackson, coming out party for Desean. The veteran deep threat was mostly kept in Sean McVay's tool belt during the first 2 weeks of the season, but the Rams unleashed him against Tampa Bay. Let's see, Stafford attempted 3 deep passes and finally connected on the third for a 75-yard touchdown bomb. He had 2 other receptions, one for 45 yards. Oh, no, excuse me. He had 2 receptions total for 45 yards, totaling with the 75-yard for 120 yards on the afternoon. The Rams' offense is even more dangerous with one of its best deep threats in the history of the NFL in the mix. And it's clear that Jackson has plenty left in the tank. Yeah, man, he looked... Dude, like, he looked legit. Like, it's... The Tampa Bay secondary could not keep up. And I know he's an older guy. Well, he's really... In football years, he's older. He's still a young man, but he looked good, y'all. He looked good. I want to make sure he's healthy for the rest of the season, so keeping him on a pitch count is key. And I know he got a little upset about that, about the play time, but you got to, use him, but just make sure it's not too much. We got other wide receivers, so I love this offense, bro. I absolutely love it. The offensive line. Stafford was sacked only a single time in the game after the score was pretty much decided. Yeah, that was a wonky play. He had ample time to pass the ball downfield. While Tampa Bay was missing Jason Pierre-Paul, it was still a formidable defensive front capable of getting after opposing quarterbacks through 3 games. The offensive line has been impressive. Yes, they have, particularly in regards to pass blocking. 3rd week in a row, the Rams have faced a stout interior defensive line. This was not a ton of running room available for Sony Michel, but it was a positive sign that LA was able to maintain balance between run and pass, which is something I was screaming about. And I am very glad that Sean was able to do that. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for keeping the balance. This is not something the Bucs' previous opponents, the Cowboys or the Falcons, were able to accomplish. Sony Michel rushed 20 times for 67 yards and 3 receptions for 12 yards. So 20 times, 67 yards isn't great. It's decent. But like I was saying before, man, screw the Bucs, man. Screw that run defense. All I kept hearing throughout the week was, oh, you shouldn't even run. You shouldn't even run. No, they ain't going to run. They ain't going to run. They ain't going to run. Bucs defense is so holier than thou. They're so awesome. They're so amazeballs. They're so awesome that you won't be able to run the ball on them. So you just need to pass. And in my mind, I'm like, no. Bump them. We're not making it easy for y'all. We're not going to make it easy for you to pin your ears back and kill our quarterback. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You may hold us down on the run game. You may shut us down a little bit, but we're still going to run it. We're still going to hit you in the mouth. We're still going to be physical and force you to be honest, even if it doesn't necessarily work in our favor. I was hoping Sean would realize that. I didn't know if he would, but it appears that he did. So thank you, Sean. Thank you. You have to keep the defense honest, and you do not cater to your opponent. You do not take chess pieces off your board before the game even starts. I don't want to hear no more about, oh, this defense is so good at run defense, we shouldn't run. Or this defense is so good at pass defense, we shouldn't pass. No. They don't get to do that to us. They don't get to dictate what we do. We dictate what we do. All right? All right, I'm very passionate when it comes to this. I do not like us being submissive and going, their run defense is so powerful. We're just not going to run. Nah, F that. F that. F that. We're going to run even if they do stop it. So I'm very passionate when it comes to that. So, and it looks, while I think it could have been a little better, I thought it was decent considering the type of defense that we were facing. So, again, thank you, Sean. Thank you. I'm very critical, but if you do something well, I will sing your praises and I will let you know you did a very good job this week. Thank you. Thank you. Keep it up. Keep running the football. All right, moving on to the run defense. The entire defensive unit played well and should be considered as a winner, but the run defense deserves to be specifically mentioned for this impressive outing. Another area of weakness from last year that I wanted to see improvement in was the run defense. And through 3 weeks, while it has not been perfect, our run defense has improved. I am very proud of our defense. Okay, I keep hearing, we're allowing these people to run because that's part of the scheme. I hear all that, but listen, you cannot call yourself a top defense if you can't stop the run. Period. I'm sorry. You just can't. All this talk, it's part of the scheme. I don't want to hear that BS. Stop the dang run. Okay, this is a physical game, and running the ball or stopping the run indicates how physical of a team you really are. So they have been very physical, and they have stopped the run. I'm very proud of them. So they had... Oh, see, I didn't even know this. Tom Brady was Tampa Bay's leading rusher. 3 attempts for 14 yards. That's awesome. See, that's what I want to see. This is awesome right here. Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette had 5 carries for 11 yards and 4 carries for 8 yards, respectively. Hell yes, this right here. Good job, boys. This is what I'm talking about right here. Yup. While the statistics were pretty for Brady through the air, the Rams seemed to dictate terms, and the Bucs took what they could get, completing passes, and they did complete a lot of passes. There is Kenny Young right there. Whoop, come on. Losers, this guy says the Seattle Seahawks. I think the author is Kenneth Arthur, and he's a Seahawk fan, so he's probably poking at his team. I really miss the old crew, led by 3K and all of them. But, Kenneth is doing a very good job for us. I love the site. I'm on here almost daily, so he's a Seahawk fan, but he writes for us, so it's cool. He does a good job. So I think this is him that wrote this article. The Seahawks fell to the Vikings 17-30 on Sunday, leaving them with a 1-2 record, and the Rams and Cardinals at 3-0. And San Francisco, they also lost to the Green Bay, so I think they're 2-1. So Seattle is in last place as of right now. But with when we start playing each other, that might change because it's going to be a tough matchups for all of us, for all 4 of us. So it's going to be crazy. Tackling on defense. Tackling was all right. I think it needs to be a little crisper, but that's more so nitpicking. since we played so well, I'm having to nitpick what we didn't do well, and it was all right. I liked how we were flying to the football, so that's that's nice to see. Justin Hollins is out, but as we know, he did have a pec injury, and he's going to be out for like 10 weeks, I think. Sean said today he's going to need surgery on the pec, and he's going to be out for a substantial amount of time. They said, I believe they said it was like 4 to 10 weeks or something. It was 10 weeks at max, I believe. So he's going to be gone for a while, and that's unfortunate. But Obo could have a chance. Terrell Lewis, who I want to see more of him as long as he plays. I love seeing him completely destroy Gronk. Woo! Yo, I could have sworn he broke Gronk's ribs for sure. I could have sworn he broke his ribs, but evidently he didn't. Then Gronk's a tough guy. He came back later in the game, but god dang, man, that was a good hit. So I want to see more of him, and I want to see more of Chris Garrett too, because I think Chris Garrett can help contribute. This could be the opportunity that Chris Garrett has, and I think he can make most of that opportunity. So I want to see him in that rotation. I don't necessarily think we need to go out and get somebody else yet. I want to see how Chris Garrett plays. I want to see how Terrell Lewis plays and Obo plays. Kind of see how they do. And then we can kind of judge from that if we need to go out and get somebody in free agency. But that's going to be it for right now, y'all. That's a bunch of standouts. We had a big win. I'm still enjoying it. Hopefully the Rams have stopped and they are focusing on the Cardinals now. But me as a fan, I'm going to enjoy this until kickoff on Sunday. So that's going to be it, guys. I will see y'all on the next one. And as always, go Rams.